Hello Internet friends, my name is Rich. Thank you so much for joining me today on the Toy Aisle Alliance YouTube channel. Continuing my tour of my very modest Marvel Legends collection. Last time we looked at my Spider-Man shelf. Now we're going to take a look at my X-Men shelf. I wanted to do this last week, but I was waiting to get the Cyclops and Dark Phoenix 2-pack. This is now available at Toys R Us's here in Canada. I was really excited to get this. This is my preferred look for Cyclops. I know a lot of people like the Jim Lee version, and I like that as well. But when I heard about this 2-pack that was coming, I decided to pass on the Jim Lee Cyclops and pick up this guy. I'm going for more of an 80s X-Men feel and look as much as I can. The Phoenix, Marvel Legends already did a Phoenix, or a good Phoenix, Jean Grey, before she becomes Dark Phoenix. It came with a really ugly head sculpt. I've heard it described as the Celine Dion head sculpt. This new Dark Phoenix came with 3 heads. So there you have the evil Dark Phoenix head, the sort of powered up but not evil Phoenix head, and this kind of neutral head, if you can see that at all. So that new head on the old Jean Grey makes a ton of difference. I originally wasn't gonna display both of them. But I thought, why not? So there is the Cyclops, there's the Dark Phoenix. One thing about the Cyclops, his yellow gloves are just painted on. Usually this version of Cyclops has the more kind of flowing gloves or bigger gloves. You can sort of see the glove cuffs. I have an extra Baron Zemo, and as you can see, he has yellow gloves. I was going to take off that wrist piece and put it on Cyclops, since it is the same buck. However, the Baron Zemo forearms are made thinner to fit that glove cuff, so I was not able to do that little alteration. But I still do really enjoy this Cyclops figure. So anyway, back to the shelf. We'll start back here. There is Sunfire. Very nice figure. This is Sunfire's modern costume, but it can easily pass for his 80s look. There is the Build-A-Figure Juggernaut. There is Archangel. I would love to get a classic Angel, and as much as I do love this Archangel figure, I would definitely switch him out for a classic Angel if Toy Biz makes one, or if Hasbro makes one, sorry. There is Dark Phoenix. That little Phoenix effect flight stand thing came with the original Toy Biz Marvel Legends Phoenix figure. If you ever have a chance to grab some of those old Toy Biz diorama parts or those stands that Toy Biz was so awesome for including in their Marvel Legends, definitely pick them up because you can always use them for a display. So there's Dark Phoenix. There is Magneto. That's actually the Onslaught Build-A-Figure head. I just didn't like the head sculpt that they had on the Hasbro Marvel Legends Magneto, so I put that Onslaught head on. I just think it was a little more ominous. There is Sasquatch. That is the Toy Biz Sasquatch. I do try to keep this mainly Hasbro, just so it kind of has a more uniform look. However, Alpha Flight fans are beggars, so we can't be choosers. Hopefully we'll get a new Sasquatch. If you've seen the Man-Thing Build-A-Figure, I strongly suspect they're going to use that to make a Build-A-Figure Sasquatch. There is Guardian. I have Alpha Flight with the X-Men, by the way. We are in desperate need of a new Guardian. Not a fan of that buck. Hopefully Hasbro will give us a new Guardian. And there is Puck from the Build-A-Puck wave. Then there is Iceman. Again, he is on a Toy Biz Iceman stand. But it is the Hasbro version of Iceman. There is Sabretooth. Emma Frost, who is right next to Jean Grey, so that's very awkward. There is Storm. We definitely need a classic Storm. I would be happy with the 80s punk rock Storm, or, the first appearance Storm is probably the one most people want. There is Colossus. Nice figure. I'm not a fan of that costume. Hopefully we'll get a more classic Colossus. Rogue. I'm probably the only person that would prefer her 80s look, but obviously I'm in the minority. Because the Jim Lee Rogue is definitely probably the more well-known look, and definitely the more desirable look for most collectors. And I do like it, but I would definitely switch her out for an 80s Rogue. There is Kitty Pryde with Lockheed. I don't mind that costume. It's clearly, it can pass as a classic Kitty Pryde. Would have been cool if it came with an alternate masked head. But again, the costume's not exactly like her classic look. So I guess the masked head wouldn't have made any sense. But it is a good figure. I'm glad we got Kitty. Again, wouldn't mind if they gave us an even more classic Kitty Pryde. But this is probably about as classic as we're going to get. There is Cable. We know we're getting a more classic-looking Cable. That was shown at San Diego Comic-Con, so he'll definitely get switched out. And Deadpool. We're also getting a classic Deadpool. He's not all that old of a character. But we are going to get his more 90s first appearance look. I'm not sure if I'll switch that one out, just because he didn't change all that much. I never need another Dazzler figure ever. I love this figure. I'm so glad Hasbro gave us this version. I love the fact that she has roller skates, so that's perfect. We already talked about Cyclops. There's the brown costume Wolverine, another one of my favorite figures. There's Jean Grey. We talked about her. That little Phoenix effect actually came with the Dark Phoenix 2-pack. That was another accessory. That 2-pack was really kitted out quite nicely. But I gave her that Phoenix effect. I think Emma, we already talked about Emma. There is Havoc. This is his modern costume, but it's actually a nice homage to his classic look. And again, there is Puck. So there is my X-Men Marvel Legends shelf. It's getting pretty crowded, but this is probably my favorite Marvel Legends shelf. I think this one looks the best. I just sort of like the way it fills in the shelf. It's sort of like the Dude's rug from The Big Lebowski. Just kind of completes the collection. So there you go, guys. My Marvel Legends X-Men shelf. Thank you so much for watching. The next one I'll do is probably my Avengers shelf. So stay tuned to that. All right, guys. Thanks a lot for watching. And until next time, I will see ya.